Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfalla.
And Ray Alfalla is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome to the iRacing IndyCar Open Series here at ISM Raceway in beautiful Phoenix, Arizona. I'm Austin Knight. I'm joined by Scott Rankin with Marco Balbineri in the production booth, and you're here watching Apex Racing TV.
Yeah, big shout out, Austin. I mean, first oval race of the season. We've had 2 road courses to kick us off back-to-back over the last couple of weeks, and you know, things didn't go so well for a large variety of drivers given the natures of the circuit. I mean, that's just where the Tech Laguna Seca and always at Long Beach, the chaos is going to unravel. With a few moments left in qualifying, it's now over. We come to our first oval of the season, and I love ovals, baby. Give me some left-hand turns.
Oh my gosh, Scott, I can feel the excitement all the way from you are, and I can tell a few other drivers are excited for this as well. It's one extremely tight grid with Philip Cross starting up on pole position with Adriano Pinero starting right next to him. Connor Harrington, Andrew Marquez, Chris Whittle, and Alex Newsom, Adam Crade, Alex Van Der Zandt, Rob Unkelelkis, Richard Craig, Laura Gearhart, and Matt Hollebro in 12th place. Behind them, it's going to be Brian Spots, David Gabriel, Tanner McCollin, and Jason Wallat, with Pedro Gomez at the end of our 17-car grid. So it's a much smaller grid than what we're used to. You know, it's an oval, so, you know, some drivers take some time to really learn this, but, you know, top split all the time, baby. It's the first race of the season. You got to do your testing during the week, then you got to show up ready to be prepared, and these drivers have their notes with them, and the weight jackers that they're starting on, I can tell you they're starting in the negatives at this point. They're at like -12 with a front roll bar of 6, rear roll bar at 1. And you're going to be seeing all these drivers using their tools to keep those tires fresh and safe throughout the race. If they go a 15 to 20 lap, you might be seeing them head into the pits for this 150 lap race.
Yeah, look, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. It's all about generating turn in the car this week. Phoenix tends to absolutely abuse and overwear that right front tire. A lot of load going through that corner of the tire of the car. Look at the nature of the corners. They're both pretty open. The corners are pretty extended, and the radius of them is really, really tight, which is just, it's one of those unique layouts. It's really the big picture of Phoenix is just that unique flowing kind of layout. You don't see a lot of short courses. It creates for phenomenal racing and stock car racing. IndyCar's not so. What we're going to see is a lot of trains getting together, and you know, with 17 cars in this field, there should be probably a lower number of cautions, but that may trigger a little bit higher. First time this season that these drivers are going to be dealing with cautions, and the way that sort of all plays out, there's no real room for error. Remember, it's an IndyCar. There's no fast repair here. There's no safety blanket, if you will. You got to look after your own car. You got to make sure that you're going to get to that end. 150 laps, well, I'm going to be taking that first, let's say 80, 90, a little bit more cautious just because it's the first oval of the season.
Yeah, first oval of the season, we're going to be seeing how everyone do it. We're expecting two pit stops today. It's going to be an absolute wonderful race. Lights are out on the pace car. Here we go, oval race for the first time of the 2021 Season 4 season, Race 3 for the IndyCar Series here on Apex Racing TV as we're going green, green, green. And what a fantastic start by Philip Kraus, Connor Harrington, getting a good line on Adrian Pinero, going up onto the inside, heading into turn 1 as everybody finds their line and their groove as they head into the dogleg right now, close dogleg. So unlike all the NASCARs, we will not be diving all the way to the wall like crazies. But we're going to be flat out through turns 3 and 4. Adrian gets a good run on the inside of Harrington. He's going to send it all the way into the wall. Down the inside of Harrington, holding around to the outside, holds that momentum off and keeps it in second place using that car's aerodynamics in this oval, short oval aero package to its advantage.
Yeah, look, I mean, a lot of downforce. There was actually a wing I noticed floating around in the breeze coming off of 3 and 4 in that first lap. So somebody's lost a small fraction of their nose cone. Again, layout of the track. High downforce, big incident, I think, in the wall. Was that netcode?
I think that might have been netcode. I'm not seeing anything on our notes, but if Marco sees something, he will direct our attention to it as we ride on board Pinero. Heading through the dogleg. He had a great run on Harrington, but now he's fallen back. He's now in behind Whittle. Now that you're going to be seeing that dirty aero wash really affect these cars. And this is where tire management and a little bit of patience is going to help out some of these drivers. That's just it. I mean, This is a lot more aggressive than I was actually expecting these guys to be pushing this early on. This is super aggressive. We're lap 6 of lap 150. Long way to go, guys. Like you said, 2 pit stops. Look after that right front. Some of these guys are pushing so hard, so aggressively, because this is the closest that the cars are going to be throughout most of the run. They're going to spread themselves out. Short track with a high downforce setup like this, aero is so crucial to getting a good lap in. Aero and car balance. You're going to be seeing drivers very active on their weight jackers in front ARP, especially if this is an all-green race. And Philip Kraus has this down to a T right here. He knows how fast he can go. He knows on how much he can stress out those tires. And he's got a good gap to Harrington behind him, because Harrington, he's being affected by that aero wash. Philip Kraus in clean air for a long time until they get into traffic. But Kraus bet for the best tires on here. We ride on board of Tanner McCullen, who is just behind of David Gabriel in the battle for 13th right here. David going from the bottom of the track to the top of the track, gets a little bit off the throttle, coming out of turn 4. You can see how much room that Tanner has gained on him with that draft and with the better exit. Somebody's murdered a cone on the inside. They're really going all the way down there. So we complete lap 10 of 150.
Cone life, man. Cone life. How dare people? How dare they? How dare they murder those cones? That cone had a family.
All those cones have a family, but they are brave, brave cones. Matt Holloway getting a good run up there, just right on the gearbox as Tanner holding that inside line, trying to make that pass, but around the outside with all the momentum. Gabriel running away with it. And now here comes Matt using that outside line once more. That outside line very powerful through those last corners. So you just really plant the power down and swing it around the outside right there. Tanner just that. And easy move for Tanner for 13th. And Matt for 10th.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit aggressive. So there's two sort of natures to this. Remember how I said that arrow, the cars are going to spread themselves out very, very early on. If they don't, and if they're, so it runs, my frame of reference for a lot of this sort of stuff comes to the Formula 1 style of things. Those tires, if you push them very aggressively, they're going to overheat. They're just going to not be able to grip the track as properly. You have to back it down for a couple laps, then you got to push on again. Very similar to the way that Formula 1 sort of does that. So look, I mean, ultimately it's going to come down to what drivers can find clear air, what drivers can look after that right front. You are going to see a tire fall off in the realm of 1 to 2 seconds, probably more towards the lower end of that gap, but yeah, look, there is going to be a lot of tire fall off here tonight.
Yeah, Samurai. Don't know why he just said that.
Samurai. Is he going to cut his way through the field?
You know, Andrew Marquez might.
I'm trying to save you.
I know.
I'm trying to save you.
I know.
I threw you a lifeline.
Thank you. And I'm about to use that right there as Marquez closing in on Pinero. Pinero actually got into the wall right there, so Andrew Marquez is being like a samurai, calm, cool, and collected. Might be cutting his way up the field into 4th very soon. And speaking of cutting their way through the field, look at Rashard Craig side by side right here.
Rashard Craig's impressed me the last couple of weeks too. I mean, his driving talent's clear for anyone to see. And his qualifying, I think, is his real weak point in his driving, but he's very patient. He picks up on his opportunities when they're shown to him, and he makes sure that he grabs hold of them with both hands, and I'm expecting some more good finishes from him here tonight as well.
Chris Whittle diving in, defending from Pinero and Marquez. And Andrew Marquez still back there behind these two. And Andrew, he's getting really close as well. You're going to be seeing these drivers take that outside line, not giving up any momentum. Here comes Pinero down to the inside. Who's going to be the last of the late breakers heading in here? It's a dive by Pinero into turn 1, but on the outside, here comes Whittle right here. The fight for 3rd. He's got the momentum around the outside. They're going to be side by side. We got a pack of 4 cars right here.
Yeah, that's it, but very crucial to note, if you actually have a look at the way that Pinero drove that car off of the corner, he was miles down the track. He gave Will Hyatt a lot of room, and in the early phases of the race, that's how you're going to want to drive. You're going to want to give these guys, yeah, a little bit more room. Losing the position is less important at this stage of the race than it is to look after your front wing and make sure that you don't need to have to come in for an early stop. Really good driving by those guys.
Chris Wilhite got extremely close to Pinero. He's dropped down to 6th place right there. Coming out of turn 4, they were inches away from each other as we were riding on board of Alex van der Zandt right there. This fight for the top 3 is amazing.
Oh, isn't it? I mean, to see the cars so close together, little tweaks, you know, one of the benefits of open setup racing is that you can actually get a lot closer than you would be able to in fixed setup racing. Everyone running on the same package, not a lot of tweaks that you can really do. This is the real benefit, but the also downside is it means that if you don't put in the time, you don't put in the work, then you're not going to be able to come out here and run so high up. So it's very work intensive to make sure that you've got the best package available to you.
And some drivers have a setup that they prefer for open running, you know, just running on their own, no traffic. And then some drivers, you know, they team up with a few other drivers. They have a setup for running in packs, and some drivers like a setup.
Is this the Van der Zandt? We were denied a Van der Zandt last week.
Oh, we were denied that, but Van der Zandt is going to send it around the outside. He's got a great momentum, keeping on the banking right here. He's going to be almost side by side, but cut off on the corner entry. But Van der Zandt is closing in on Adam Crane. And here comes Van der Zandt down the inside. He was looking for Van der Zandt. Almost going to make you jump out of your seat right there. Oh, here it is.
Crossover. Gets the momentum from the high side, gets to the low side. He's going to try and clear him. All right, calm down. Calm down. Crane did not make that easy by any stretch of the imagination. It looked easy in the end, but that's 3 or 4 laps worth of work to set that up and get that done. That's what it's going to take to make an overtake in a later run here at Phoenix.
Absolutely. It does take some time to get right up to the back, and now we're into, well, everyone's in that aero watch right now, including our leaders, who are just hitting 2 seconds behind of Jason Willett at the back of our 17-car grid. Matt's getting a bit wide, but a big difference from IndyCar to NASCAR. IndyCars, you're going to be seeing everybody run that outside line as Matt almost gets to the wall right there. I think he actually did, or he was bottoming out the car. I saw a lot of sparks falling out the back of it. You know, if we bring up our track map, I think the entire track is covered by cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It's just like a procession. 5th across the line, 6th across the line, 7th across the line, 8th across the line, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. Yeah, it's just, the track's going to be full at this point in time. That's just, it's going to continue to be like that. That's just, again, the nature of Phoenix. I'm wondering whether some of these guys that are further down might, remember, I did see that small aero piece from the front wing flying about in the breeze earlier on, so I'm wondering what car that came from. It was a white piece of wing. White and blue is what I saw. So ultimately, I've been trying to keep my eyes out and try and pick up a car that it's actually come off of.
I do not see anybody that has gone into the pits to fix that piece of wing. So I think that might be a little bit of iRacing lag that's giving you that issues. We've had
Australian internet people.
Yeah, you know, Aussie internet.
It's hand delivered by Kangaroo.
Oh, look at
Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to be enjoying this for as long as I'm on the broadcast this season. Me just ruining Austin.
It's pretty easy to do, to be fair.
It's currently Tuesday morning. I've literally got a hot cup of Joe sitting in front of me to steal an American term.
And
bleary-eyed.
It's 7:22 in the afternoon here in the great state of Texas. And for Marco, it's about 3 a.m. So we are truly an international broadcast team.
Marco loves his crazy working hours, though, don't you, Marco?
He says he loved it, by the way. We are not torturing him.
Well, I mean, it depends.
No.
No, Marco does love it. I'm just messing. Like, yeah. I'm a little bit blurry-eyed. I'm still waking up. The jokes aren't as clean and precise at this point. Either way, the pack racing here has been phenomenal.
Matt had a good run right there. A mid-corner looked like Brian might have lifted off the throttle, felt that car trying to turn away from us, and he's going to be very active on that weight jacket to correct it. You know, they're moving up on the weight jacket to let the car actually settle in from the negative weight jacket that they started. Also, at this time, they're going to be looking at the temperature, see if they need to adjust the wing angle for the first pit stop that's coming up very soon. Matt's got a good run, but that door has closed in off the exit. And temperature on track right now shouldn't really be adjusting through the night as Matt goes around the outside, clears him off the exit. Matt Hollebrow up into 10th place. 74 degrees on track, 7 degrees in the air in Arizona. Almost wide off the exit. Hello.
It was interesting to note that group that was further down the pack with Spots and Hollebrow in it. If you actually have a look at the way that they entered turn 1, they were actually entering turn 1 such that they were all running slightly different lines. Just, they want to get that air flowing over their aero structures. They want that unobstructed air as best as they possibly can. And look, for the guy that's in the back end of that train, he's not going to get a lot of that. So anytime that they both split their lines like that going down into turn 1 ahead of you, you're going to take that option any day of the week.
You're gonna love this. I had a little bit of lag out while you were there, and the iRacing damage model is showing everybody's wheels are off the car right now, and it's the funniest looking game.
I can imagine it'd be like what, hover cars from Back to the Future?
Well, no, the wheels are actually attached to the car. It's just shooting up a lot of sparks. But I think if we rejoin that fight with Matt, that has been fixed. If not, do not expect me to do any, do not expect me to go extreme detail work. As the first pit stop is Tanner McCall, and don't see any damage on that car. This is a scheduled pit stop.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think this is a little bit early. I mean.
Okay, so the genius of this stop is he's got a very early pit box. He can use that cut that will save him a second. But since the track is mostly covered by cars now and everyone's in traffic, those tires that he's getting, the undercut is extremely overpowered here. And he can make up some moves and move up the field right here. But the lap times are extremely short. It's going to be multiple laps down until everybody else starts their pit stop. Here comes Tanner right back out on track. And he's going to be slotting right behind Andrew Marquez and the 6 of Alex Van der Zandt, who's swinging it around the outside right there.
Ooh, gets loose off corner exit as well. So all of a sudden he gets a whole heap of fresh air. Car's been plowing for a long time running in behind Andrew Marquez, so he's got the weight jacker and the ARB adjusted so that the car is going to create a little bit of an extra turn in, and the instant he gets in that clear air, you can just see all the aero structures are like, hey, we can work properly now. He's like, whoop, a little bit too much weight jacker. Let's just tune a little bit of that out.
Yeah, you're going to be seeing a lot of that throughout this year, and watch Tanner now on those fresh tires through the corners. He can rely a lot on that mechanical grip he's getting from the tires and those fresh Firestones. Look at him on the bottom line, just getting as close as he can. He's probably just like, oh, come on, man. You got fresh tires, just came out on the pits. I need to get ahead. But also that could be from his tires being dead at the start. You don't want to abuse those tires immediately out the gate because, you know, they're going to just take away all that grip later on. But there goes Tanner around the outside right there. Not for position. He's still 2 laps down, sitting at the back of the grid. But the only car to go into the pits, so nobody following him into the undercut currently.
So here's the thing from Tanner's perspective. He started on the grid P15. What he can do, and what he's probably decided with a grid position like that, I'm going to be aggressive very, very early on. He's going to push the tires a little bit harder. He's going to gain that track position in the early phases instead. He's always got in the back of his mind, he's going to come for an early pit stop, look for an undercut. Then he comes down. Now he goes into that little bit of a tire save mode whilst also being aggressive. The whole time he's just making ground up. And we've seen how difficult it is to overtake here. Once you've got that track position, it is going to be 10 times easier to hang on to it than it is to try and make it back up. Great driving from both guys there.
Yeah, Brian spots around the outside and almost heading into turn 1. They got the 14 of David Gabriel ahead of him, who is a lap car, and almost causing kind of a roadblock right there. Luckily, they didn't make contact, and Brian Spot's able to stay ahead as they're side by side off the exit. We got a car in the pits as Pedro Gomez, second car to head into the pit lane right here. He was David Gabriel getting making this a little bit tasty in this 3-4 car pack right here of faster cars, all of them trying to get around him and staying on the inside as he stays on the outside. The thing is, though, he's not letting up at all. He's just taking that outside line, letting them pass on the inside, but he's not leaving a lot of room on the inside because, you know, he's just staying there. And Van der Zandt and Newsom are swapped places out. Alexis Newsom's in the lane. Top 5 heads into the pit lane.
Yeah, so I was just about to say, quirk of the system, I think Brian Spots was the 10 car last week as well.
Well, we did
switching between oval and road course I ratings too. That's awesome.
Yeah, it is difference of oval versus road I rating here. So you're on the oval, you're using your oval I rating, and that's probably my favorite feature of iRacing. And this is well, Tanner pulling into the pits, and well, I'm guessing Tanner's out. That is something to ponder of. Also, Pedro Gomez is out as well.
Has he left the server?
Yeah.
Pedro Gomez has left the server.
Yeah, both of them
But
have.
McCullough is still in the server.
Something might have happened. He's not in his car. He's serving a tow. Oh, penalty.
That would be what it is, 100%.
Oh, no. Alex Vandersant first. Oh, that's a big lockup heading into the pit lane. Andrew Marquez heading in.
Here they come.
This is the race onto pit road. And Vandersant heading into pits. Big lockup. Did he get underneath that? Philip Kraus missed the pit entry.
That's what I thought I saw in the background.
Yeah, he's going extremely slow heading out of that corner. Let's watch this right now. Philip Kraus, oh, just late slowdown. He wanted to head into the pit entry, but he just missed
That's
the
a
opportunity.
lot of time.
And
he had a massive advantage.
now he's heading in. Oh, he's almost missed it again. And that puts Connor Harrington and Adrian Pinero up ahead of him. And Connor Harrington, if he gets a good pit entry, he might have the lead of this race. That might cost Philip Kraus the lead right now. This is the first of 2 pit stops. You want to have your pit stops down to a T right here. And here comes Harrington into the pits.
That's what I was going to say. So genuine strategy tends to be if somebody else makes a mistake on the pit lane entry.
Harrington's missed it. Harrington went for the pit entry, and he missed it. Pinero passed him, and Harrington's dropped off by 2 seconds. And I think Harrington was trying to go to the pits, and he pulled what Kraus did. So Philip Kraus probably saved him. Here comes Harrington into the pit lane. Big lockup right there. And now, Pinero is our race leader as the field is shuffling.
You gotta run long.
Our pit stops.
Surely.
Big long race here. Pinero still out on track.
So when one driver makes a mistake like that, the general strategy is to immediately come down and cover them off by coming down the very next lap and making sure that you get into your pit lane. Any mistake that they've made, basically you've null and voided the undercut, right? You've put them behind you in the dirty air on the fresher tires, on the older tires when they come down to prevent precisely that. In this case, Pinero is going long, and the reason why he's going long is when one person makes that mistake, you're not really racing that person, right? All of a sudden that brings them back to you. So you're like, okay, let's see what we can make out of this. Let's create a little bit of an advantage here. The second person makes a mistake, you don't want to be caught up in where they come out. You want things to shake themselves out a little bit because these guys are now a little bit, it's to go on tilt. The correct reaction is to settle yourself down, shake it off. You're going to have a pit stop, so you're going to have a little breather, get back into things and move on.
And
but
speaking
at
of
that
pit
stage,
stops, they just passed, and our new leader is Alexis Newsom. Philip Kraus right there. Newsom had the right strategy, got onto the tires on lap 51, and has passed Philip Kraus, who is immediately right behind him. This is now the fight for our overall lead after our pit stops. And yes, very, very different strategies here, going long versus...
Kraus has got the run.
Oh, that is very tight. Car off the exit, 3 wide at the dogway. Kraus on the inside, Newsom on the outside. Newsom has that momentum line, though. He can keep holding it on. They're still going to be side by side of Philip Kraus.
This is going to continue for a few laps until one of them makes them... No, never mind. You're right. Sorry, Alexis. Let me... Just prove me wrong. On screen whilst I'm talking about you. Thank you.
Well, Alexis does have an older tire by 6 laps, but remember, Philip Kraus had such a great lead heading into the pit stops. He missed a pit stop that had a sketchy pit entry, so that did tighten up the fields for Newsom to get right there, and Alexis Newsom had an amazing strategy, up 4 spots at the end of that pit stop, sitting in second, and then Pinero had a Pinero had a good strategy. It was just going long with everybody else going in too early. That undercut really hurt him. But, you know, it's a full-on race. Let's see if Pinero has a good run on everyone else, as he's got Connor Harrington right behind.
Ultimately, towards the tail end of this stint, provided the traffic situation works out exactly the way that Pinero wants, he's going to have the best strategy. He's on the freshest tires. So let's talk about our front runners and their pit lane strategy. Nobody has gone longer than 61, and I've just checked through the field. Nobody in the field's gone longer than 61. That's our pit lane's fuel limit. That's our window. Guys up towards the front. Phil Kraus, 57. Alexis Newsom, 51. Pinero, 61. Harrington, 59. Van der Sant and Marquez, 55. So ultimately, Pinero's on the freshest tires. He's got to make that work here.
Yeah, Pinero's definitely going to be using those tires, but he's going to be massaging those tires if he continues to do that 61 strategy. He's going to be pitting on lap 122, and then it'll be a short sprint to the end. Or are we going to be seeing somebody try to do a full-on early stint and really go for a long run right now, and that will be on lap 90 if we see somebody really gamble it and go for the undercut to the end. We're going to be looking for the most aggressive driver on the tires right there, but that is a big gamble. And, you know, not sure if it will provide them the fastest time currently, and then at the end with everybody else pitting, they're going to be really struggling. But during that pit stop phase, it's going to be kind of positive for them with them making up spots, and they get themselves unlapped enough. They could have the entire field lapped early on in that final phase of the race, unless there is a caution.
Yeah, so a couple different strategies playing their way out just to see spots down the inside here. At this point in time, I believe that's on lap traffic. So, look, I mean, from the position, so there's a couple, again, coming back to that race strategy, a couple different positions that we're in. Alexis Newsom had to do something different. Absolutely have to do something different. Was falling a little bit by the wayside, wanted to play themselves back into the race. Done a phenomenal job by doing that with the undercut. If anyone here is going to pull the aggressive undercut strategy to get themselves to the end, my money's on Alexis. Already gained themselves a lot of track position through that strategy thus far. Probably going to be looking to do that again. It's really worked out in their favor. Adriano Pinero, we've already seen him run long. It's worked out for him as well. A lot of other drivers have had pit lane entry issues. He was nice and clean, got to his stop, did everything he needed to do. He's now got Harrington behind him. Harrington wanted to be ahead. Now the other thing is that Pinero, with that 10 lap tire overlap, is now aggressively closing in on Alexis Newsom. So we're going to see that battle start to play itself out. Marco, do you just like Brian Spots? I get the feeling Marco likes Brian Spots.
Well, Brian's got a great car right there, and he's making a lot of moves, so no, of course we're going to like Brian Spots. He's exciting to watch on track, and he's definitely not spotty at all as he makes that move up down the inside of
Brian's up some spots. It's Will Hyde, not Will. We went over this, Hyde. Austin. What was the one thing? The one thing, Austin.
There are like 20 things, okay?
Right. Look, I had my pressure on you, and I was putting too much. You're right. I'll back it down.
I'll see you gathering race notes for this race.
You're right. You are 100% correct. Great job, Austin. Is that what you wanted? Did you just want a pat on the head? You can.
Yes. Thank you.
Weirdest broadcast Apex Racing TV does?
Not in the quite. There was that Sim Racers World 6-hour Endurance Championship at Spa, where we got into a fight about Star Trek and Star Wars.
Marco, how good was the 24 hours of Spa this year? Loved it. Marco is a madman. Marco Barbanera to the drug screening tent, please.
I don't think performance enhancing commentary is.
I was gonna say coffee. Look, I was going for coffee enhanced commentary. That's how we get by, commentators. Trade secret.
I don't drink coffee though.
Oh, you drink caffeinated products.
That's true.
Technicality. The best kind of technicality.
Phil Kraus still in the leads, right on the back of Chris Whittle. White.
Will Height.
Will Height. Thank you. Just gonna 1 second.
Look at that. We've got how many? We've got 13 weeks? 12 weeks? I can't count.
I can't say names. You can't remember how many drivers, how many races are on the season. It's good. It's gonna be great.
Either way, Alexis Newsom's managed to, a whole bunch of guys have rounded up. No, sorry, Alexis Newsom is actually still in front of Pinheiro, and it looks like Pinheiro's dropped a fair way off. Unless Newsom's, actually, I was watching the lap times just before. I think Newsom was really looking after their tires in the first stages of this run. And they've been able to attach themselves back to the rear bumper of Philip Kraus. This could actually be a race for the lead that carries on for an extended period of time. Newsom knew that they were going to have to run a very long stint in this middle stint and looked after their tires appropriately, and now it's coming back to them in spades. Are you getting a can of soft drink ready to crack?
No, I was actually adjusting my iRacing live timing to adjust Chris Will Height's name so I remember how to pronounce it.
Don't forget, if you want your correct SDK live timing, SDK is available. I mean, I use it all the time. The timing camera's great. Fuel calculations are fantastic. Oh, I love that because I'm always looking at the numbers. The problem is there's too many fancy numbers and I forget to drive. You have attention deficit disorder as well. Get focused on all the fancy flickering numbers all the time.
I like shiny things. Yes.
So that's a yes.
Very shiny. Marco. Thanks, Marco.
You can't blame Marco for this one.
I can't blame him either, so he's totally in the right. This is just how I remember how to say people's names. I just changed their names to my local SDK. Into my local SDK stuff. So if you want your name correctly pronounced, just tell me and I'll change your name on SDK. For me, not for the broadcast.
I would have spelled it H-E-I-G-H-T. You know, Will Height, falling from a great height. Yeah, man. Yeah, with our correct ideas and things. Have you ever called it an invention? Oh, now I can't remember the name of it. The Hills Hoist. That's what it is. Have you ever heard of the Hills Hoist?
No.
You know those clotheslines that pop up in your backyard with like the 4 posts and things? Those are the Hills Hoist. It was invented in Australia.
I mean, I don't know because I have
the spinning ones. Google Hills Hoist. You'll be pleasantly surprised. Hearing aids.
You got a race going on. Why would I Google something?
Shiny things.
Shiny things. We got 17 beautiful IndyCars out. We got 14 beautiful IndyCars out on track right now, and it's currently being led with a very tight fight between Philip Kraus and Alexis Newsom right behind. Alex Vanderzak closing in on Harrington in the battle for 4th.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's been close. Like I said, Alexis, out of that pit lane strategy, Alexis has played themselves very well up into this, into the running of this one. And look, there's quite a few options that are actually going on right now. Ultimately, if anyone's in a very strong position, it's got to be Alexis from my liking. So I mean, we're just gonna have to see where that lands.
Yeah, different strategies, and Chris Will Height into the pits. So, you know, I was saying someone's going to try that super undercut move. It is Chris Will Height. So, hey, they're putting all the money on red right here. We're going to see if the roulette table feature, well, favors them as they head into the pits. Goes 2 laps down. Will Height looking for a good night here, trying to get a good spot into the top 10. Maybe even the race win with this stop. Got 4 Firestones, full tank of fuel, and they're going to go for a marathon run right now.
Got to try something. 100% got to try something. Will Height was slowly drifting. We saw Brian Spots get past him. I mean, he was just basically drifting back into Rashad Craig's clutches. So,
Yeah.
look, I mean, you've got to try something.
Yeah, when you're losing all the grip, you really got to try some different things. That's what Will Height's going for. And sometimes different things are the best. And if he can get themselves unlapped and, you know, traffic gets pretty bad for our leaders. You know, we've had no retirements out of damage. These were just retirements from just connections, server issues, or drivers having something else pop up. You know, this is scheduled to be a 1.5-hour race. So, you know, attrition can be a thing, not just damage related. And this is at Alexis Newsom. This is not a pit lane. This is a pit lane entry. It didn't seem like Alexis is going in there to stop, but Newsom from 2nd place on lap 100 heading into the pits. He's going to go for a 50-lap sprint. And now the question is the strategy going to go for running as long as he can to running a fat or pitting as early as he can? Philip Kraus, big lock up into the pit entry. Oh, did he get down to 45 miles an hour? I am not sure, but Pinheiro back into the lead. We saw Pinheiro stay out for 61 laps, and we're going to be seeing that strategy again up to lap 120. I am not sure because Philip Kraus covered off the undercut.
Had to.
Oh! If you want to have a Halo Castroneves moment, well, there it is, right there. But I don't believe there's going to be any giant,
this is going to be interesting,
swear-filled rant. Philip Kraus coming out of the pits. Where is Newsom? Here comes Newsom. Here comes Kraus. Newsom and Kraus at the merge point.
Oh, that traffic's going to play a part.
Yeah. Philip Kraus has that spot. Newsom got caught up with the traffic coming out of the pit exit. Philip Kraus right on the back of a, I believe that is not Laura Gearhart. That is the 8th of Adam Crane. So we got a big train of cars right here. This is really holding him up. Pinheiro's got a good opportunity right here.
So 2 things I want to note about that. Where the advantages come from, because it was so close just beforehand for Alexis, is that coming to pit lane, because of all the problems that they've seen, you know, on the track and all the cars that are, oh, Connor!
Oh, that is a strike to the wall. That's damage.
Who was that on? What did you see? What did you see, Austin? What do those eyes see?
I had a lag spike.
So the eyes did see something, but the internet connection didn't confirm it. Marquez is going to make their way down pit lane as well.
Luckily, we don't not have any ISP provider sponsors here on Apex Racing TV, because I'm about to completely swear them out right here on Twitter.
Ah, look, it happens. Welcome to racing from Australia, to be perfectly honest. And look, I mean, at the end of the day, everyone says, oh, netcode this, oh, netcode that. Honestly, it's actually a pretty good solution. Like, you can complain about it every day of the week, but it's reasonably predictable. And there's not much more that you can really ask for. The only thing that you can really ask for is a zero connection, and, well, that's just IRL racing, and there's no way to do that across the world, so... Ultimately, a lot of people get annoyed by it, but it's just a lack of, I think it's a lack of understanding of, you know, what are the limitations that go on within races like this. There's no way to get rid of lag connections. If you play any sort of shooter or anything as a Van der Zandt,
oh, that's a big lockup for Van der Zandt, sending it into the pits. Adam Crane, followed by Matt Hollebrook into the pits as well. Pinheiro still out on those tires.
He's hoping for something. Anything can happen. We're coming down to the later stages of the race. He's got, what, another 10, 15 laps before he needs to pit?
10 laps.
Ultimately, I think this is a good strategy. When you want to run long, look, early on, yeah, you definitely want to run long, but early on in the race, if you know that the race is going to be green, you've got a long period of time to try and catch yourself back up if that unfortunate yellow does actually come out. Later stages of the race, you don't have that opportunity to get that ground back, get your laps back, get your time back. Pinheiro is playing himself into this race through alternative strategy. You cannot do what your opponents do and expect to win. You've got to try something different. And again, shout out to Adriano.
And Newsom and Kraus, both of them did what Will Height did. Will Height was the first one to head into the pits, and then Newsom went into the pits again. Here comes Pinheiro into the pits now on lap 111 with nearly the entire field a lap down. It's going to be very interesting to see on where Pinheiro comes out now compared to Kraus and Newsom. But Pinheiro not going to be there as Kraus swings it around the outside. Definitely that fast start that he had to the stint and covering off Newsom was a good call. Very nice strategy that both those drivers had. But remember, we still got an entire ending part of this race now. It's going to be very, very good. And I think what's in chat just really Pinheiro, but it is low fuel now. Tires is going to be OP. Pinheiro is on that fast strategy, 15 seconds behind. 15 seconds behind Brian Spots, who heads into the pit lane. Richard Craig is now your leader. So yeah, new tires, low fuel. It's all going to be out mechanical grip. I'm going crazy slowly, but Kraus is our net leader. Pinheiro in 4th place. We're going to be seeing it's going to be a sprint to the end by Pinheiro. He's going to have to really work that car because he's nearly halfway around the track to where Philip Kraus is. And they're on a difference of tires of about 11 laps here.
I think the biggest issue for Adriano Pinheiro is the fact that Harrington's now in the middle. Like, Harrington's going to fight that because that's full position. When did Harrington come in? That's the crucial factor. So Harrington's pit stop was lap, look at that, 104. So
Pinheiro,
there's a 7-lap difference. Yeah.
Newest fastest lap of the race, 1957. Philip Kraus's last lap, 2019. So Adrian Pinheiro, the Brazilian, is swinging this thing around the track. He knows he needs to catch up to Philip Kraus and try to power his way up to the lead. Richard Craig still staying out. I think Richard Craig is just going for until that car runs empty strategy and headed
100%.
into the pits. And,
Again,
it's not a bad strategy. It's not a bad strategy if you just fully maximize those that fuel mileage. And hey, something might happen if a caution comes out. Everybody will be out of strategy. Everybody else has to go into the pits, because they're on 15 laps or more on those tires, and you'll be having that track position with that lead, and then it'll be a full-on sprint race. As Pinheiro, that's not what you want to see. Big pack of traffic. Goes from the outside, dives it up onto the inside. Nothing off the exit. He's got the 11 right there. That's Rob Orlakis stuck on the outside as he is chasing down Connor Harrington right ahead of him.
And at least they're both experiencing the same level of traffic. I mean, that's where the issue sort of comes about, is when they're facing different levels of traffic. And you'll see here in a moment, just in the left-hand side of the shot, the 4 car here is Chris Wilhite, who's going to be the next car in traffic. So it actually looks like Pinheiro has managed to close a little bit. So 2 things that play themselves into this last few stages of the race, including why that fastest lap has just been set. So coming down to top off on your last to the fuel, you don't have to maximize the tank. You don't have to fill that tank all the way back up. The other side of things is that you also don't have to look after the tires for as long. There's a lot less weight in the car, which means the tires are wearing less aggressively. So there's a lot less tire saving to be done in this last stint of the race. Ultimately, push yourself as hard and as fast as you can for as long as you can.
Oh, Pinheiro.
I don't think...
There was
I was about to say.
There was no damage.
Yeah.
But that was really close.
Oh, that is a man that is on a mission, and he is gonna throw caution to the wind and have a go.
iRacing damage on the broadcast. Marco also got it too. We got it just a bit, but then iRacing just like, nope, wait a minute. He didn't actually hit it. It was his connection. It wasn't us. So he's
That's
still
fine.
in this race, but he was really close to that wall. And I feel like some audience members of our, I feel like Adriano might have seen that scene and just went, wait a minute, I didn't hit that.
I had a heart attack. I honestly had a heart attack because I was like, no, that's Pinero's race over, and the last few weeks have not been massively kind to him.
Yeah,
so
no.
I was really keen to just sort of see him come out this week and really show that stamp of authority. He's the one car in this session for a reason. Let's see it. We've definitely seen outright pace. I think there's been a few little minor mistakes. I definitely feel like Philip Kraus has been the more consistent driver for my liking. He's definitely had more pace on his side so far, but the pace has still been there from Pinheiro. It's just been those little things that I think have been getting away from him thus far in the season. So that would have been a heartbreaker.
Yeah, that would have been a heartbreaker, but he's still involved in this race against Connor Harrington. Little bit difference of 6 laps on these tires between them. So Pinheiro has the better tires, but Connor Harrington still has that track position that he wants. Big aggressive dive up the inside for Adriano Pinheiro. Trying to correct it, but it's not going to be there for him. That outside line is so good, and the battle that we haven't been covering at all is Kraus and Newsom up at front, just a second, dividing them as well with 22 laps to go. This is all going to be about tire management between these two into the end and how much closer they can get with 22 laps to go. Also, another fight is the fight for 6th place between Andrew Marquez and Matt Hollabo.
Adam Crane is only just in the background of this one as well. He's only a second and a half behind Hollabo. So he's going to play himself into this picture as well. And Crane was the last to pit of this bunch. Hollabao's going to get this move done, hopefully.
Around the outside, got a good run down the straight. Hollabo makes himself up into 6th place. And here is our leader, Philip Kraus. Right behind him, it's that number 7 to Newsom. This is a fight for the lead. Newsom goes down low, right in that yellow line. Kraus defending right there with him. Very good run and very good defense from the Floridian, Philip Kraus, holding it off for the lead. Very nicely defended.
Yeah, that's only go number 1. There's 20 laps to go, so this is Newsom just working them over, right? Newsom is just looking to work Philip Kraus all over, just so, where can I send it? Here it comes! Here it comes!
Right here, you can send it, but Kraus once again holding around the outside. Newsom's going to have to get pretty... Newsom's going to have to get really crafty out this. He started on the outside, now he's going back to the inside. Switchback move. It's a drag race down the straight. Newsom dives it up to the inside once more into turn 1, but Kraus holding around to the outside. They're still going to be side by side, but Kraus has momentum as Pinheiro did jump Harrington and almost make contact right there. Kraus once again holding around the outside. What a fight and defense by Kraus and Newsom. And while that was going on,
Alexis Newsom got exactly the amount of space that they needed and 0 more. Philip Kraus knew the exact limits that he needed to run that high line. Here comes the assault. Here it is, the momentum on Alexis' side.
Stretching those legs out, trying to find any bit of advantage that he can, but Newsom, every time he goes down low, he's putting himself on that bottom line through turns 3 and 4, and Kraus has just been money around the outside right there. Once again, back into the lead, but this is a great backwards and forwards fight. What Newsom needs to do is try to fake Kraus going low and go high through turn 1 to set himself up for turns 3 and 4. But Kraus knows that's what's trying to happen, but he is closing out that bottom line. Newsom trying to hold around the outside right there, but he had to let off here just
Look at those
because
beady eyes.
Kraus really beady-eyed, straight-line madman focus for this move. He's got a great run through the dog leg. Once again, Kraus goes high, chopping off any bit of overtaking opportunity. Newsom had a good run back and slid out just a bit right there. Newsom's going high, trying for a better run, heading into the dog leg. Kraus staying low. This is beautiful racing with 12 laps to go here in Phoenix.
So here's the difficult thing. Newsom's got to keep this assault up because have a look in the background. Pinheiro is coming in at rate of knots. Is this it?
They touched! Kraus in the wall! Newsom got right there. Kraus into the wall. He spun off the exit of turn 1. Caution is out. Pinheiro into second. Kraus gets off the track, but yeah, that is day done for Philip Kraus. A lot of damage. That was a very good fight. Newsom sending it down low. Did he send it a little bit too far? Kraus has already turned in, and he wasn't expecting Newsom to be right there. Just a big bit of netcode too as well. Bam into the wall. Hard impact and heartbreak for Philip Kraus. Newsom is our leader, and that is some big netcode right there. And I
think they would have made contact. I think they would have made contact regardless.
Yeah, Kraus spinning into the pit lane. Now we're going to be seeing if drivers are going to be, drivers heading into the pits now. We're going to be seeing anyone gamble. No one is. No one's going to gamble.
Well, Newsom's in. Newsom's in.
Well, yeah. They're going for that fresh tires. That's what I've been saying. The only driver.
Rashad Craig.
He was a lap down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the drivers staying out right now are lap down. You know, lap cars pit after the cars that are on the lead lap. How many IndyCar races have you ran?
Look, I've probably run about 5, and all of them have ended in the fence. I'm not gonna lie.
All right,
I'm terrible at dealing with the draft.
Race off pit road is gonna be Newsom, Pinheiro, Vanderzant in third, Harrington, Holloway, Marquez, Crane. As Philip Kraus is out of the car and he can't believe it. It's going to be a sprint to the end for Alexis, Newsom, and Pinheiro. Alex Vanderzant is going to be looking for a Vandersed sitting in third, and Connor Harrington in fourth, with Matt Holloway in fifth. This is going to be a fantastic fight. Marquez is also in there as well, with everybody on these fresh tires. Oh, ho, ho. Well, I hope you got your popcorn because it's about to pop off.
Oof. Oof. I mean, yeah, this has definitely turned into a spicy race. At this stage, there's 8 to go. The lights off on that pace car, I don't know. But things to talk about. I think they would have made contact. If I'm being honest with you, I think Kraus turned in a little bit too early.
It did look like there was a little bit of miscommunication right there.
Well, it's gonna happen.
Kraus trying to hold it off, being very aggressive on the defense. Newsom went deep in there. He went a little bit wide. They left each other room, but turn one, the track can only go so much before you make contact. The net code there was very unfortunate. So,
again, you come back to netcode. You come back to netcode. They were making contact. They were making contact no matter what. I think the end result, you take netcode out of it, the end result would have been the same. So, for my mind, Alexis, what's happened there is Newsom has gone, I've got this corner. I am more than 3/4 of my car ahead. This is by rights my corner. And Kraus just hasn't respected that. Now, Kraus, the race very, very clean and very, very close for a number of laps, but something that was a very big nature of Kraus's defense was that they were pinching Alexis a long way down the track and minimizing the momentum. Alexis gave it because at no stage prior to that was Alexis that far forward. When Alexis is that far forward, in real life, that is completely Alexis's corner, right? Now, different layouts, different ways that you design things, different ways that you look at rule systems and the way that you drive the cars. In iRacing, where you don't have to pay for the car and you don't have to deal with the impact into a barrier. So you do get a lot more aggressive, and that's just the general nature. I'm not saying that the Kraus is like that in any way. What I'm saying is that's a generic nature of iRacing. I think it's an aggressive defensive move, but look, I think that was Alexis's corner. I think Kraus is gonna got a case to answer and learn something from.
Back to green we go with 6 laps to go here at Phoenix. Everyone's staying on that outside line. Can't pass up onto the inside. Only pass up onto the left off the restart. Connor Harrington already on the outside right there of Alex Van der Zandt in the fight for third. As they head through turns 3 and 4, no worries about tires now. It's all get up and go, go, go. Harrington around the outside of Van der Zandt gets up into third place now. He's going to try to catch up to our 2 leaders. We got a lot of fights happening. Adam Crane sends it down to the inside of Marquez. Crane and Marquez side by side, and here we go. A little bit of drag race heading into the dog leg. Crane makes that move up right there. It's our fight for the lead. Newsom versus Pinheiro. Newsom holding that outside line, trying to hold that momentum off of Pinheiro. He knows how to run these tires to their absolute perfection. Holds that outside line, go for that momentum heading into the dog leg. 4 laps to go between these two.
And remember, this is the first time that Newsom and Pinheiro have been locked in a head-to-head battle out on track. These guys haven't had the opportunity to learn each other's lines like Newsom and Kraus did for so many laps. So this is different. What will Pinheiro do here?
Well, Pinheiro's been making moves up through the field. Newsom has been making attacks, but he hasn't had a lot of defensive driving practice, but he's seen what Kraus is doing, so he's going to try to recreate that right there. We got a good switchback by Pinheiro. Pinheiro looking down to the inside with 2 to go. Pinheiro sends it up to the inside into turn 1, but Newsom holding around to the outside, just like Craig was doing to him. Side by side through the dog leg, heading one more time through turn 3 and 4, and I see the flag is white. One more lap to go. Pinheiro and Newsom side by side heading into turn 1 once more. Pinheiro on that inside, Newsom holding it on to the outside. Newsom with that momentum, trying to gain some more time on Pinheiro, but they're still locked in a nose-to-nose, wheel-to-wheel battle. Pinheiro gets a late turn in. Newsom's going to try to hold it around to the outside. It's going to be in progress to the end. Newsom's coming up right there by the corner. It's going to be Pinheiro by 1,000th of a second.
There is absolutely nothing in that.
What a finish to that. Newsom trying to hold it around the outside with the momentum. He had a charge. If that was an inch farther, that flying was an inch farther, that would have been Newsom's race, but by 2,000ths of a second, Pinheiro escapes with the win across the line. That is going down as the craziest IndyCar finish I have seen on iRacing.
Look, in the end, I'm kind of happy with that result, and I'm pretty sure that Alexis will be like, you know, look, I had a close battle with a couple of them. One didn't go the way, obviously, that it was meant to go, that was intended to go. So, look, I mean, we'll take that. That's just good hard racing. And then to walk away with second after that, to walk away without damage to the front wing. What a race! What a race right the way through. Strategy from Pinheiro and Newsom was on point. I think probably the call of the race was Alexis Newsom coming down on what was a lap 51 was 5 laps earlier than anybody else to come through that pit lane, and look what it did for their race.
What a fantastic race. So close. 4 cars within half a second across the line, but it's all Adriano Pinheiro for the Bread King himself.
Oh my word.
Oh my gosh. Newsom can't believe it. He had the momentum. I don't know what was said across the line, but they probably looked at each other like, okay, let's just see what the lag actually says with the results. But it is 2,000ths of a second. Pinheiro takes the win ahead of Newsom. Connor Harrington in third. Alex Van der Zandt in fourth. Matt Hollebro, Adam Kane, Andrew Marquez with Shard Cred, Rob Unkelekis in ninth. Chris Will hit Heights, Brian Spots, Laura Gearhart, Jason Willott, Philip Kraus, unfortunately down in 14-2, was just in command of this race. He still can't believe it. David Gabriel, Tanner McCollin, and Pedro Gomez at the end of our 17-car grid, and I am out of breath, and I still can't believe what just happened.
Oh, what a race, though! It was absolutely like I said, this was a lot closer than I was expecting. I'm gonna be watching this one back for weeks.
No, I can tell you, you might see this on iRacing Top 10 because
This is
that
one to
was
go.
a beautiful lap. Let's rewatch this entire final lap as we just try to calm down from this. Here's heading into turn 1. You see Newsom, he's already showing his cards. I'm going to be holding that outside line. I'm going for the momentum at the end. And Pinero's like, all right, bet. Little bit of a delayed turn in. That might have been the key right there.
That was it.
And boom. He held it off, and it was a very tight finish. But Adriano Pinero, race winner by 2 thousandths of a second here in Arizona.
See,
what a race.
I want to have a look back. The moment of the race that I want to have a look back is probably Kraus versus Newsom going into turn 1. What would cause that caution? Because that is obviously it is the moment of the race. You know, there's not a lot you can do about that. Kraus said something in the post-race chat, which was basically Alexis forgot where their turn-in point was. That's I don't know. That's
that. Well,
so,
hey,
so let's analyze this.
You want to ask him?
From sure. I'm really curious. Kraus,
Well,
Philip, what are your thoughts on that incident? Because in my mind, that's the first time Alexis got ahead of you going into turn number 1. It's their corner. I think you pinched them quite a lot throughout the course of the race, which you're very, very entitled to do. Great defending, by the way. I love that to bits. But I think that one's Alexis's corner. What are your thoughts?
It's not a road course. There's no such thing as corners.
Well, yeah, sure.
If you miss the corner by 3 lanes, it's your fault. It's pretty straightforward.
Okay. Alright, that's fair enough. Look, to be perfectly honest, I love the fact that we disagree. It just shows me there's so much more to learn.
It's whatever. On to the next one.
Great race, though. That was a phenomenal
Yeah.
race. You had to cover Alexis off in that final pit stop. They gave you no choice whatsoever. Absolutely zero choice.
Yeah. It's just unfortunate. It happens.
You can't win them all.
I mean, she was quicker anyways, but I hit the wall like 15 laps before that, so yeah. Sour taste.
Other than that, it was a fantastic race here, holding off. Next race, we go to Nashville. How are you preparing yourself for that race?
I mean, I don't know. We've never run there. I imagine it'll be a Motegi, except 3 and 4s both sides. So.
All right.
It'll be similar to this in how it races, but it'll be on a speedway package.
All right. Well, it was good to have you stop by and put your thoughts on that incident. Thank you for running. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank?
Private Label Team Hype, all of our sponsors. Private Label handbags, obviously. Tomahawk sunglasses, Ethica, and all that.
All right. Thank you, Philip. Tough luck in the race today, but we'll see you next week, and hopefully everything goes better because you were in command of the track today.
Cheers.
And joining us now, well, I'm still wanting to have Adriano hop in here. There he is, just right as I said that. So let's talk with our race winner, Pinero, by 2 thousandths of a second, takes the win. Have you finished screaming at the top of your lungs?
Hello guys. Good night. I'm sorry I speak a little English, but I think I will not get to understand the question, but I wanted to say a few words. I'm happy to be here, to have won the race, amazing ending. Sorry for Kraus, who really had a very strong pace, Alex too. I like short oval. The race was very difficult. I managed to qualify well, and I stayed ahead. It was a great result. I feel like I'm improving on open setup, and my evolution is also because of my teammate Rodrigo Franzoni. And we are working together, and Franzoni has done most of the development of the setup, and I have fine-tuned some adjustments. So I want to dedicate the result to Franzoni that has really helped me too much. And finally, I want to thank my sponsors, Brad King, Hello Poppy, and Angaroito. Good night, guys. Thank you.
I'm pretty sure they're all proud of you. Congrats on the race win. That setup really worked well. Thank you for joining us, Adriano, and congrats on that fantastic, extremely close win. That is going to be on replay for years to come. I can guarantee it. And back to Scott, who is standing by with Connor Harrington.
Yeah, hey Connor, oh, what a race, mate. I mean, you know, it goes the distance and then all of a sudden you get that late caution. What goes through the mindset in those closing phases? Because, I mean, Adriano just drove his way around you and all of a sudden you get this opportunity to reset and go out there and race for a podium once again.
Yeah, I mean, truthfully, I totally botched the first green flag pit cycle. I missed.
Oh yeah, we saw.
And yeah, it wasn't very good. That's what's gonna happen when you don't practice that. So you know, we missed it and we let Adriano go there, and that was probably worth about 4 seconds in a back position. So yeah, you know, but you know, you get a chance to go after it. I probably knew I probably didn't have anything enough for the top two because of the clean air. But well, yeah, you know, hey, a good third. Able to get around Alex there at the end. So thanks for you know, racing me clean and not, you know, stuffing me into the wall when I decided to send it on the outside of him.
I mean, that's the incident that's really sort of covering the race for us, is that incident between Philip Kraus and whatnot. But it's so difficult around Phoenix, especially on the older tires, and especially when you're racing that close together, and the intensity goes up a notch. And it's about race management right the way through, but in particular in those closing phases, even though you're racing so heavily for position, you still have to know when to yield on those sorts of things as well. It's not, racing is no simple craft.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it just looks like I've only seen the replay of the incident once, but it just looks like, you know, Alexis just missed the bottom, and you know, and Phil left her more than enough room, and I know there's some netcode involved and whatever, but that's just my take on it from the first pass at it. And you know, but that happens with sim racing. You know, if there's no netcode there, I'm sure they don't wreck, but you know, it's unfortunate for Phil, because you know, Phil made a really quick setup on the short run tonight. We figured it was going to be a caution fest, and that's what we needed, and somehow everybody decided to hold together for 140 laps for only one caution, which was nice.
Well, at least you were set up there to go for it at the end. You had the right tools in place. I mean, it pays to have a good team behind you. And I mean, you went for a setup quirk and going for those shorter runs, and that shorter run pace, it just didn't play out. And you prepare for something, it doesn't go your way sometimes.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, we kind of got lucky there. We got bailed out at the end with that caution, and you know, we were able to get our way back on the podium, which is always good. So. Yeah, I think I don't think the standings have updated yet, because I don't think this split has finished, or at least the other split has finished yet. So I think we'll probably be in the lead after this week. So you know, it's always good to be in the lead in points and 3 solid finishes to bank.
I mean, yeah, that's just been it. You picture of consistency so far this season. It has been a good season. I mean, you start off with races at Laguna Seca and the return of racing to WeatherTech Laguna Seca with the IndyCars in real life, and then, you know, we followed off with a phenomenal race last week at Long Beach. Followed that off with the season finale over in real life, and at Long Beach was an absolute cracker of a race once again. And then here, it really, we're heading to Nashville next week. It's just been class acts so far. What are you expecting from Nashville?
That's a good question, because I'm pretty sure I don't even know the track. So next week will be my first racing laps. It's actually gonna be a really busy week. Next week we have a Lionheart race coming up. I think we have a IVRA race next weekend, and prepare for Open. So I'll have to take myself away from running the good old C fix at Talladega this week to work on a setup and figure that place out. But that's just our goal for the season. I mean, whenever I get in the car, I just want to if we can just top 5 and not have any incidents and move on. That's really worked out well for us. I mean, it's worked out well for me and Lionheart. And that's a big reason of why we're doing so well.
Well, finally, I'll let you round things off with the thank you sponsors and shoutouts. In particular, obviously, those guys have helped you work with the setup this week. They're going to be so crucial to your race next week.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely thanks to everybody over at Team Talent and Private Label Team Hype, especially Phil Kraus and Josh Chin. Thanks to everybody over at Ethica, Tomahawk Shades, all of our great partners. We can't do it without them. So thanks to everybody, and we'll catch you guys next week from Nashville.
What a cracker. What an absolute cracker, Austin. I mean, you can't ask for more in the desert. Well, Austin's gone as well. Nope, he's back. We got him. Austin?
Sorry,
okay.
I was talking to Adam, seeing if he wanted an interview, but he actually declined the interview.
Fair?
Yeah, just seeing if he wanted to, since, we do our 3 interviews that we usually go, but we had so much time left. They were actually in favor for banking this 10 minutes for next broadcast. I'm not sure if that's allowed, but, that's what we're rolling for. What a race, a classic of a race we had here at Phoenix International Raceway. I'm not calling it ISM. That was beautiful.
Oh yeah, and wasn't it? I mean, it's really interesting to talk to the guys as well and have them sort of confirm that, hey, we think probably Alexis is at fault here when we reviewed it. I love, prove me wrong every day of the week. Come in, give me evidence, make me look at things, because you don't, until you look at these sorts of things and until you break them down with the drivers, and at the same time, it's really good for Philip to turn around and say, hey, yeah, look, I mean, if you're at a road course, you're 100% correct. I mean, I've got a yield there, but this isn't a road course, this is an oval. And it's really good to pick the mindsets of the drivers and how they piece those apart. He's obviously, very obviously, and very legitimately beating up the result of the race right now, because one of them finished on the podium and one of them didn't. So, very understandable the emotions that he's going through. It was a tough race. He controlled the bulk of it. And look, I mean, next week is an unknown. So when you come into a season, you're doing as well as Philip has so far this season, and something like that happens that late into the race, I want to see him respond next. I really want to see the way that he comes out next week, because I'm pretty confident that he will just come out and dominate again next week, and that is the best way to respond.
It seriously was, but what a race we had. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here on the iRacing IndyCar series. We're going to be still in Speedway mode as we go to Nashville Super Speedway for the first time, I believe.
Super Speedway, a Nashville Super Speedway. Yeah.
It's not the link to the Super Speedway, but we will be in that Super Speedway package, which is going to be very interesting to see on how all these drivers adapt to that track. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Once again, it surely is an honor to be broadcasting this series. I've been joined by Scott Rankin. We got Marco Barbonera in the production booth, and I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a good night.